Oh, good morning. What's up, y'all? It's your man, Rico the Opinionist. What it do? Uh, Toss and turn, couldn't sleep. So, when I have a lot of thoughts on my mind, you just cannot sleep because a lot's been going on. And, hell, might as well, I guess, talk about it, right? Because usually I'll be writing this stuff down. But, I said, why not just, maybe I'll record it and write it down later. This is, again, Rico the Opinionist, and I am here. Like, share, and subscribe. This is like 6:15 in the morning. It's January 7th or some shit. I don't know. And I'm just, let's see. Just here just to share some thoughts. Man. Share some opinions. And also, on this YouTube channel, go ahead and mess with me on that, in that description box, and also because I'm also recording this thing live on my Facebook page, Rico the Opinionist, as well as my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. And on the Facebook page, I have my cash apps and all the cool stuff on there, so check it out. But some of you probably have not woke up yet, and I'm here early. I think I officially woke up at 4 a.m. And, and stuff just on your mind. You cannot, lay back down once your sleep has been broken. And so it's a lot of stuff. And then so I woke up and I picked up the phone and looked through Facebook. And I was looking at Facebook all yesterday and everything. And I like to check out people's responses because I already have my thoughts about stuff, but I'm always curious to know what other people are talking about. And I said, okay, I get it. I'm not shocked. A couple of people said something that sounded like more like independent thinking, but I didn't hear too much. And so, just from my own Facebook page. Good morning, Dawn. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? And so, I don't know, Dawn, you might not be here for all this, what I'm about to say. Hey, Tiffany. And wait a minute, let me get focused, because I'm going to start saying hi to everybody, but I have to say hi to these ladies. But I don't know, ladies, because y'all know my stuff is a little different, and everybody's coming in, my stuff is a little different. And I'm not the one who tries to be contrary on purpose. I just call it like I see it, and when I say it's not law, it's not right or wrong, I'm Rico the Opinionist. I've always shared opinions about things, and so put on your seatbelts. This one of those. This might be one of those rides at Six Flags, almost like that slingshot. You wish you hadn't gotten on, but your ass is flying through the air. Now you're snotting and pissing and screaming. Well, I think this is gonna be one of those rides. It's gonna hit you like that because the events that have been happening and that's been going on. Because I got a lot of other stuff to worry about, but I can't help it. Good morning, Winfrey. And so, okay. Where do I start? Okay, you got the people storming the Capitol, and anyone's ever known me since junior high school, and in college, I've never ever followed the crowd. I've always marched to the beat of my own drum, and I know that's said in other contexts, like that mother kind of crazy, but no, I'm not crazy. Never been. I just have 20/20 vision here as well as here. That third eye thing. And I just here it is again. This would be a case of me not following the crowd. I'm watching the same news that y'all are watching. I'm reading the same articles. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and MSNBC, all that stuff. And Coach Cheese. And by the way, brother, y'all excuse me for a second. I know you changed your name, my man, and I know who you are. And congratulations on your anniversary, and I'm sorry, your wedding. What was it? Your wedding. Congratulations on that. And because you and the missus have been doing it. I've been seeing the pictures, bro. Y'all look great too, man. Y'all look good. And so congratulations, man. Y'all all over the place doing it too. But anyway, so I've been watching them, I'm going to continue to say what I've always said. I paid attention to what the scholars told us in the 90s. You know, when neo soul and being black and we was proud and all of that. I was there paying attention to what Dr. John Henry Clark told us. Blacks, we have no friends. I heard everything that Sister Sherazade Ali said about, the black woman is the only group that's never had her behavior that's put under a microscope. But black men have been analyzed and dissected. I heard Dr. Frances Wilson when she talked about the correlations between the images and the attack on black male masculinity. I heard it all. I heard what the scholar said. I read where Dr. Amos Wilson talked about the psychological trauma of white supremacy on the African mind. I read all those books. I had the pleasure of meeting some of the scholars who wrote those books in the 90s and early 2000s. Shout out to Dr. Julia Hare. Shout out to Reverend Jeremiah Wright. Shout out to Dr. Ben Yakahana, Brother Ashwa Kwesi. I had a chance, shout out to Dr. Frances Wilson, Dr. Joy Leary, who wrote Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. I read the books and I read the books and I met the authors and I had conversations with them. And so when I see this stuff, I'm not moved. I'm not surprised. Elijah Muhammad taught us over 80 years ago that the white man was the devil. Nat Turner tried to show us how to seek revenge or how to do a revolution. But I think we miss all of those messages because I think a lot of us miss a lot of those messages because we're too entangled with white folks. And we can't really see the forest for the trees because a lot of us has had babies with white men and white women. A lot of us date white girls and white men, and so we're conflicted. I don't have white friends. I don't date white women. I don't have any mixed babies. So I can speak freely. I'm one of those free black dudes. And by the way, I don't have anything against our biracial babies at all. They can't help who their parents are. They can't help anything. But I read the work of our scholars. Not all. And even I go on YouTube, we're not even paying attention to what Dr. Claude Anderson has been telling us for decades about powernomics and black labor, white wealth. They're in videos now. If you don't want to read the books, they're in videos. So I'm doing all this to warm you up to what I'm about to say about all of the shenanigans and the chicanery that's been going on in this country. I read books by Dr. Malachi Z. York, the Holy Tablets, the Tabernacle books. I read all that stuff. And had conversations after conversations when I was a young man in my 20s and my early 30s. I officially stopped talking about this stuff around after 35 because I realized don't nobody give a shit about knowledge and all that. They just want to argue. And so that's why I just leave my conversations on Facebook and my YouTube because in person I'm not having conversations with anybody about the truth because people today all they want to do is be told. They don't want to read. We don't read anymore. We don't do any of that stuff. We just like to get everybody told. And so, even if I have on a T-shirt that says something controversial, don't ask me about it unless you're going to pay me. Don't ask me anything about what I say on social media unless you're going to pay me. I learned that my opinions was valuable when I was in college writing that newsletter. Hey, Rico, what you going to say this week? Man, you told them folks then. So that's when I started accepting donations from them. So I had to learn that again. African Americans, for the most part, have no interest in the truth. We're too far gone, far gone. So what I saw today, the white people storming the Capitol. That ain't nothing but the modern day Boston Tea Party. They like, fuck it. If you're gonna charge us, tax us without representation, we'll chunk this shit over in the harbor. That's white folks who fought revolutions. See, we're shocked by their behavior because we haven't fought a revolution since the slave insurrections. We haven't fought. When it was time for us to fight a revolution, we decided to get on our knees and pray for the enemy and let them sick dogs on us and all that shit. I know who the white man is. The white man is the person who they said they were when they wrote the United States Constitution. He said every white man shall have these rights. And white people, even your white friends, they can be as liberal and as kind, but they know who they are as white folks. They may tell you, I disapprove of what they're doing. Oh, they're disrespecting democracy. But your liberal white friend knows exactly what those folks are doing. Now, we can minimize it and call it, well, those Trump supporters, they just acting a fool. That's easy. It's almost infantile in thinking. But if you paid attention to what our scholars said to us, wrote to us, they did lectures, they wrote books, they wrote journal articles, they went on tours. Now, most of them died poor and broken, trying to teach black folks about who we are and what we need to be doing. So I listened. And so when white people do what they're doing, it doesn't surprise me. So I'm just sitting back chilling. And I still do this thing. I'm still trying to share what I think I know with people who look like me. And we ain't got caught up in this political division. And, it's very interesting. I see them storming, and I hear all the comments, man, if they was black, they would even never made it to the steps. Of course not. You remember the Constitution? It says we're 3/5. The people, when they wrote the United States Constitution, you were picking cotton or being sodomized and raped or sold from plantation to plantation. Half of the hunkies that wrote, the white men that wrote the Constitution were slave owners. So where do we get this arrogance to think that we were full Americans? We haven't fought a revolution or even had a constitutional amendment in this country to get that piece taken out or having that piece amended. We talk about the 13th and 14th, but we don't talk about the 3/5. See, white people aren't stupid. We are. The more degrees we get, it seems like the dumber we get. We become lawyers, we become doctors, we become engineers, we become business owners. But we have not become proficient in our history as African people. That's why stuff like this surprises us. And no, I'm not a Muslim. No, I'm not part of Hebrew Israelites. Just a regular dude who pays attention. Would it make me any special if I tell you I was an Aquarius? I love my zodiac because we're a different breed of people. I know Scorpios think they all there, but give it a rest. And I know you can't tell a Taurus shit. But anyway, we're a different breed of people. And we're those introverted group of people who are continually looking and listening and absorbing information, choosing a time when it's the best time to put out that information. And we dare go against the grain. And so when I see the white folks storming, and I see the images, no, the police are not being harsh with them. But go back, they weren't harsh with them when they stormed the Michigan house either, the Michigan State House either. But yet we're still surprised. You know why you're surprised? And how they're not beating those people's ass or tear gassing them? Because you don't understand, we're still 3/5. We pulled the horse before the cart. We haven't done the work, the real fighting. Because nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to fight. I don't either, but, if we get down to it, it is what it is. You think Dr. King wanted to die? You think Malcolm X wanted to die? You think Medgar Evers wanted to die? You think Nat Turner wanted to literally commit suicide trying to fight? Y'all think Jesus wanted to die, even though, contrary to belief, he gave his life? No, he didn't. He was murdered. Y'all cut that out. Stop that. Jesus didn't want to die either. But it's just something inside those folks. And even the people in the Middle East, when they say, Allahu Akbar, and they, man, take your ass out. Or the Japanese kamikaze pilots, they understand that freedom ain't free. You can't sit around and wait for somebody else to get it for you. You have to get it for yourself. And then you get jealous when you see other people fighting for their freedom. Yeah, I said it. It's like we're jealous when white people stand up for whatever rights they believe they have, they're being violated. Because we don't stand up for shit for ourselves. Unless we're going along with the system of this political process. When the fuck does that ever helped us? You know, we're 13%. We're more than double and triple the percentage of LGBT. We're more than triple the percentage of Jews and Asians. But they've gotten a lot farther. They've got a lot of work done. And they've done something that Elijah Muhammad told us that we have not done yet. They unified. And guess what? Unlike what Joe Biden says, as it relates to blacks and Latinos, they are a diverse group. Asians are diverse. Homosexual, LGBT are a diverse group. But one thing about it, when it comes down to what really matters to those groups, their diversity ends and they become unified to get this one thing done. See, they're like this, but then they become like this when it's time to fight. And that's what makes their little small group so powerful. And also have an understanding of their culture and who they are. Whether it's true or false, they have a belief that binds them together. We don't have a belief because we stopped teaching black children about who we are. Rico, where you going with all this? Well, I'm trying to explain to y'all why I'm not surprised at none of this that's going on. I'm not. I even read in the 90s when I was attending my beloved Grambling State University, when we had the card catalogs, but they still had information that came out talking about the implants and stuff, and before debit cards came, said it was going to be a cashless society. When it came around, I wasn't surprised. Because I read about it and I understood and I kept it in my head. So the stuff that's going on now, it doesn't shock me. White people storming the Capitol. Damn, they all in the office and they got all in Pelosi's office. They could have, it's almost as if they opened the door and said, come on in. Because another thing that black people, we don't understand is imagery. Why do y'all think Madison Avenue spends billions of dollars annually just to sell a Coke, a drink? They understand imagery. Back in the 80s, 90s, or 70s, they called the television the television. But we don't seem to pick up on these concepts because we don't respect the brain. We don't respect the study of psychology. And so therefore anyone can bamboozle us with the simplest shit. Matter of fact, a lot of stuff that's done to us is stuff that's been done historically. So they don't have to change anything, just add a different face to it. They're doing the same fuckery to us because we refuse to read the history. And that's the stuff, if you ask whatever, keeps my blood pressure high. And I try to separate myself from us, the foolishness. But I can't. I'm empathic. I'm a part of us. Contrary to popular belief, just like when a parent loves his or her child, so much so that their heart and their soul bleeds whenever the child gets into trouble. And that child gets in trouble all the time, but that mother or that father is there. They go down with them like the Titanic. See, that's being connected empathically with your child. And people say, why you keep on bailing him out? Why you keep on letting her move in when she acts a fool with her boyfriend? They're connected empathically. I'm connected with us. Don't y'all know that sometimes I used to pray? Whoa. Y'all don't hear this shit again. I used to say, God, how come you didn't keep me ignorant? I probably have a lot of cash in my bank account. Probably be, you know, I would be living blissfully in my ignorance. Why did I have to be awakened? Or why was I chosen among many folks to notice things? Can I say that? When I was 6 years old, I said this to my mother when it came to integration. I started first grade in '76. I was 7 years old, but I was about 6 when I told my mom. I said, I had to be 7 then. So I remember telling her, and didn't know what I was saying, but I understood the discomfort that came with integration and how we were inconvenienced for this process of integration when they integrated the school buses. How come we have to get up so early to go to their school all the way over there? I remember saying this to my mom. I remember saying it to us. And then I got to high school and made another observation that said, how come our school is 51% white, but 49% black and others, but the pictures in the yearbook are always 99% white? Then when I got to Grambling State University, whose hill is it? Or what color was Jesus? What did God look like? I started asking questions. And when you ask questions during people's comfort or disrupting people's comfortability under racism, white supremacy, you get that Jesus, you get that Malcolm, you get that Fannie Lou, you get that Harriet, you get that treatment, casted out and attacked and vilified. It's the truth. Ask a question about black folks about why the fuck we think teen pregnancy is cool. Shit. Things that actually hurt us. Now, how come we don't never attack the drug dealers personally? Where we attack black men who just simply voted for another political candidate. Trump. How come we don't go on the street corner and attack the drug dealer? How come we don't set fires to the trap house where the little fuckers live? See, that creates conflict. Because we haven't gone to the place where we need to be we haven't arrived to the place we're supposed to be. And we're banking on our success based on the political process or how much we're validated by white folks. And I'm not some separatist kind of cat, but I don't have a problem being around black folks. But I don't want to be around a bunch of Oreo Negroes either. I want to be around a bunch of uppity Negroes that think, it's not even like that. We're all together. Or only you're revolutionary when you got white people around you. Like Black Lives Matter Negroes. Can't stand Black Lives Matter. Can't stand none of that shit. Because it's not like the real insurrections of our people. That was an infiltrated movement. It wasn't even a movement. Because if y'all been keeping up with the Black Lives Matter, they're falling apart. They have an internal fight, which I saw coming anyway. When I found out what they were about years ago, and I made a video on it, I already understood. When I found out more stuff about how they were funded and how they were created, that's 3 lesbians? When the fuck did lesbians ever give a damn about the black community, or especially black boys and black men? Never. It's all about, white folks and women with black lesbians. They've all got, and now they're asking the Black Lives Matter people, where the money at? All of the people who's been shot in the face with rubber bullets and arrested and all fighting and tearing up shit on behalf of Black Lives Matter. But the founders, the 3 lesbians, got movie deals. The other one married her ugly white woman stud. Alicia Garza married her, and the other chubby one who really loves Marxism, she got a movie deal. Like to make movies. I don't know what the third one is doing, but those 2 making a killing off of the backs of the ignorance of blacks. They came in and manipulated the hurt and pain of black folks. They stood on the dead bodies of black men. That's how they got popular, and they were funded. Just like black feminism is funded by outside sources. Look, I just listened to the scholars back in the 90s. White folks storming the Capitol. And they're basically, going without a scratch. And it's like we're upset because they're not beating them up the way they beat up black folks. Sometimes maybe because we're fighting the wrong fight. If we were actually fighting the true fight out there, we around here getting excited because a black dude beat a white man for a Senate seat. Hooray! I hear my Kermit the Frog arms. Yay! That's how we just, jumping up and down like slaves on a Sunday morning. And what does that mean to us as a group? Absolutely nothing. Y'all think we haven't had black representatives during the turn of the century after slavery? We had black Republicans in the Senate and Congress and stuff. Yeah, we got more done with them than we're going to get with these. Because these are Democratic ones. They ain't going to do shit. My first question to anybody that's black and get elected. So, what's the agenda for black boys and black men? Because y'all might as well get ready to understand, even though he's a cool black dude that came from Morehouse and all that, his agenda is already set. Because we didn't give him one. He has a gay agenda already. He has an immigration agenda already. And he got a white woman agenda already. But black people didn't give this black dude an agenda. He ran. We got to get Trump out. That's not an agenda. So forgive me if I'm not excited because a black person's been elected to a political office. And so, but I'm an independent, and so I can go either way. I'll whoever's in there, everyone can get this smoke and get these questions. I just need us to stop all this goddamn celebrating over nothing and get the questions down and start posing questions to these people and start putting the heat on them. You know how the white folks stormed the Capitol? We need to storm these politicians the same way. And see, I watch white folks and I learn from them about what freedom really is and how to fight for it and what independence really is. And blacks don't want that smoke. The ancestors before us took the smoke, so we supposedly didn't have to, but it's like I don't know. I think they bred it out all the tough Africans and left us with the weaker versions of us. They kind of breaded us out. We breaded each other out, breaded out. But it's just weird. And so, but I'm sure he's a nice man. Reverend. I'm sure he's a nice man. But, it's due to the fact that we didn't give him an agenda. Even when y'all voted for Biden, those who voted for Biden didn't have an agenda. Get Trump out! No agenda. But you know who had agenda for Biden and Harris? Homosexuals, immigrants, illegal immigrants, white women. And all three of those groups used the numbers of black folks to get in. Black women? Hey! And so we're celebrating some bullshit that's not even worth cause for celebration. We didn't win anything in this Georgia Senate race. We didn't win anything the Biden-Harris election. Do we ever win anything? But it would be great if in our local cities we can storm City Hall, like white folks did at the Capitol, storm the school systems, storm the power utility companies overcharging, see. I hope we're taking notes on how to get shit done. Get your guns, get your guts, and storm. Because they just showed you, they're just fucking politicians. They can't whoop nobody's ass. But we're around here putting the power in powerless people. When it's the people who have the power. No, it's a civics lesson. Even, let me go a little further. Y'all, come on. Even what Trump is doing, contesting the race, is not illegal. What he's teaching us is the rest of the part of what we learned in civics class in 8th grade. He's not doing anything illegal. If Al Gore had been a man and done the same thing when when the race was taken from him for us to have George Bush, that precedent would have already been set. And people probably know that you can contest the race if you want to. Trump, he came in and said, hell no. And of course, a lot of people caught up in his personality. I didn't get caught up in his personality. I paid attention to his policy. And I approve of his policy. Do I approve of his behavior? Nah. When I voted for him in 2016, I was voting for somebody different, and I got it. And I loved it. He shook this motherfucker up. He needed that. America needed Trump to be president. He should be president right now because he was cheated. I'm telling you. All right, you don't believe it. They started on day one. Y'all want to know why? Somebody asked me, why, Rico? I'll tell you. Because I was going to write this down in the article, but I'll tell y'all if anybody wants to stick around and hear it and shit. Day one, the Democrats and Republicans got together to make sure that he would not have a good run. But luckily, there were those of us who paid attention. They spent billions of dollars putting in what's called a hit campaign, spreading propaganda. It made sure you paid attention to his personality. It made sure he ignored the cool things he did with his policy. And don't ask me, what was the policies? Go read them yourself. It's a whole list of them. You're going to be shocked. Not just the HBCU thing, not just that. Did a lot of cool stuff. But the media made sure, go back to television, he brought out a lot of stuff about this country that the people who kept the bullshit going didn't want him to bring out. Trump, they didn't want him because he wasn't one of them. You ever heard some never Democrats or never Obamas or never Bushes? But you had never Trumpers. They were Republicans, allegedly just like him, but they went against him in his own house. Y'all didn't pick up on that? But if you was caught by the media hype, you're like, yeah, even the Republicans don't like him. Y'all weren't paying attention? It was something else about this cat. He wasn't supposed to be there. You know why? Because he wasn't properly vetted and ritualized to be a part of the Klan, meaning the group. See, Democrats ain't worth the shit and Republicans ain't worth the shit. They're all part of this good old boy, good old girl network that keeps American people in the world in the dark. Trump was just a pompous, loudmouth business CEO. He came in actually doing American stuff. They're like, no, yeah, we say we're Americans, but that's just a ruse. But he came in actually doing American stuff. When he said America first, he meant it. Because if you're a citizen here, you're an American, I guess, for the most part. When he brought the jobs from overseas back, he did that. And people wearing Adidas, they were in another country, but he made them come back. All of a sudden, everybody's wearing Adidas and shit. I think Levi and General Motors brought a lot of jobs back. So y'all need to be paying the American workers. And a lot of us work in these companies that he had them to come back. And when he went over to the G20 summit and told all those foreign leaders, look, y'all pay y'all own goddamn way. America's still paying for your way. Y'all have money. No president ever told them that. We're done. We're not going to kiss your ass. And they all kind of laughed and chuckled like, really? Who the fuck is this? Who did they elect over there? He shook up the system. The system that was cheating us and fucking us over. That's why they work so hard with the media and all of the liberal media. CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, New York Times, all the new everybody. They rarely had anything positive to say. And granted, his tweeting didn't help. But, that was part of it. I was still paying attention to the policy. The laws that he passed. and how they convinced blacks that he was the boogeyman. So much so that we actually elected, I'm sorry, y'all, those who voted for Biden and Harris, you actually elected the boogeyman. You ain't seen nothing yet. The boogeyman has been elected. He got his whole mental health. And the boogie woman has been elected. Their history speaks for itself. Their record speaks for themselves. But we ignored it because we were convinced. I ain't gonna say we, millions of people, black folks, were convinced that this white man was worse than that white man. It was the damnedest thing to watch. Black folks arguing over which white man was less racist. Oh, God. Now, these are black folks with PhDs, master's degrees, nurses, professors, administrators. You know, the so-called intelligent ones. And then you're canceling out blacks who didn't agree with you on that tip. Who said, you know what, I'm going to go with policy. That brings me to Stacey Abrams. How the fuck is she being so celebrated when she was a loser? Stacey Abrams, she followed up on her promise to make sure she delivered the vote for Georgia. That heifer can even deliver the votes for her own race. So how does she get all this celebration? I'm telling you, I'll be paying attention to stuff. And black women who celebrating this lady, y'all need to pay attention to her too. Where her husband at? Does she have children? Because y'all know most of these women, these black women who empower, are lesbians, man haters, and y'all women that love her have sons. That's why I don't understand how y'all like all these women that hate black men. It says something about you. Y'all vote for candidates who hate black men, but y'all got black sons. I've already said, if you're a black man, your wife, girlfriend, mama, sister, grandmama voted for Biden or Harris, they don't like you. Because those two clearly had records that totally show how much they hated black men. And Stacey Abrams, I don't see her with, y'all see any man around her? She doesn't even exude anything that's considered pretty or sexy. Maybe she got a white dude somewhere. And number two, no, because this white man called her, y'all saw the tweet, the white man said, congratulations, Fat Albert. I hope you enjoy your big girl buffet. Okay. I said, whoa. Some white dude now, I think he worked for UTC or somewhere, wherever he is, now Negroes are all up in arms. He needs to be fired. Why? He doesn't need to be fired. He doesn't need to be fired. She is fat. And she's a loser. What does she win at? See, we be celebrating all this foolishness. And what's her record of actually helping black people? Did I ever do Stacey Abrams' record? What record does she have? I can be educated. I don't mind. That's why I post questions. But it's interesting how they want this white man fired for speaking his opinion about her looks or whatever. But y'all don't want Maxine Waters fired for her condemnation, her attack on black men just because we voted for Trump. That old bitch don't need to be fired. Janelle Monáe, Joy Reid, what was your mama thing? Y'all want her fired from MSN? See, I pay attention to everything. You want the white man fired for attacking this obese, overly hyped black chick. But a whole generation of black men were attacked just because we didn't vote for Biden or Harris. By women with powerful positions. But they shouldn't be fired. So I don't play those games. I don't have bipolar disorder. I don't have a conflicting bone in my body. I see everything. So no, he should not be fired. But of course, the liberal left and everybody's going to cave in to chicks screaming, yeah, he should be fired. They're going to cave into that. And so he may, he going to catch it. But I'm saying he shouldn't be. I'm not going to wave a flag or hold a sign and say, no, I don't get into all that shit. Who cares? He's going to land on his feet. He probably get a job at Fox News. Well, Fox News has been bought by Disney. So Fox News is no longer the real Fox News. You know that one that didn't play? Y'all noticed that even Fox News started turning on Trump. But Disney bought it. So Disney's a liberal organization. the media is owned by Democratic liberals. So that's why somewhere in these next 4 years, your daughter's gonna be going to the bathroom. Your 10-year-old, your 12-year-old, your 4-year-old is gonna be going to a bathroom with a grown ass man in a wig who says he believes he's a woman with his penis under his dress. That's what we just voted for. Got to get rid of Trump. Trump ain't did nothing to black folks, policy wise. Yeah, he says a lot of silly shit. He did, but he wasn't hurting black people. But black men, these next 4 years, we have a very pro-LGBT, pro-illegal immigrant administration. And those things like this, that American men, period, straight masculine men, period, across America will be under attack. Some of you've never heard some of these things called man-spreading, what the feminists came up with a few years ago. You know how men usually sit with their legs up, just sitting, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Well, that's offensive to some white women, and they call it man-spreading, and it needs to stop. So we all need to sit like this when we're around women. That's just a small piece. Being a man and masculine is considered toxic masculinity. That's the stuff they're going to be pushing. That's one of the many reasons I didn't vote for them. And I'm an independent. When I go, I vote my interests, and we all can interpret individually what our interests are. But it's certainly not based on anybody's personality. The liberal left, the Democrats, white Jews, white liberals, they spent a lot of money to convince blacks. That's a bad white man. Not even elected yet. He told them Negro leaders, sit down, shut up, I ain't doing shit for y'all. Let the party begin. But anyway, I'm trying to see if I got everything down. Stacey Abrams, the white folks still in the Capitol, talked about that. And the importance for us to really hunker down and start opening up some of these history books. And get over our fear of watching these movies like The Birth of a Nation and 12 Years a Slave. And I find that kind of interesting. I hear a lot of mainly women say, I don't want to watch another slave movie about slavery. Well, can you have a conversation about it then, since you don't watch the movie? Hell no. But you'll never hear a Jewish 13-year-old say, I don't ever want to watch Inglourious Basterds again. I don't ever want to watch Schindler's List again. I don't ever want to watch any movie that talked about how Hitler mistreated our people during our Holocaust. But you got this American Negro. I don't want to watch no slave movies. Well, I'm not saying that they're extremely accurate. I understand. But there's something we can learn from it. And what we learn from it is not to repeat history like Jews have done. They put their people in place to make sure a Holocaust or any kind of mistreatment of Jews will never happen again. What mechanisms do we have in place as Africans in America to make sure those things don't happen to us again? Nothing, because they're happening to us again. They used to say they used to have a law that says blacks were not allowed to read in this country under slave codes. We have libraries used to have libraries all across our neighborhoods, and we walk right past them. Now I think they're closing those libraries down because we don't even go to free library. Some of us in college won't even read anything. But I'm very fortunate to have attended college in the 90s, 89 to 94, undergrad, 94 to 96, graduate school, Grambling State University. But from 89 to 93, 92, really, 89 to 92, we had a lot of discussions on who we are. And the books, we read a lot of books. Shout out to Zoltan Chansey and Blacks to the Basics bookstore there at Grambling. He's opened it back up, by the way. We don't even have bookstores in our cities that's majority black anymore. Those bookstores used to also serve as coffee shops where we go in and have discussions about our people. We don't have those anymore. We've become so cosmopolitan and so American and so chic that we're not even, but we don't know what's hit us. But we see white people are still fighting for their right to be independent and free and to be white. And we learned this word. They're white privilege. Guess where that came from? Hey, Charbonnet. That came from white liberals. Privilege. That's your privilege. It's not white privilege, ladies and gentlemen. It's called white supremacy. White supremacy. It encompasses everything. Systematically, socially, politically, economically. White supremacy covers it all. So don't give cutesy terms like white privilege. That's their privilege. Then you try to separate white woman privilege from white man privilege. They guess what? To all the brilliant people out there, you can't separate the white woman from the white man, because when they were beating your ass on the plantation, guess who was there ordering him to beat your ass? His white woman. So to all the child, we all sisters in this thing. No, you're not. The white woman experience is not your experience, sister. This is what I like to see in 2021. I've often said this for black men, and I want this. I want us to take up our Greek shirts, our church. Know what church you belong to. I want to take those shirts off. I want to take off our Masonic Lodge shirts. I want to take off our what else? All the things that divide us, and I want all us to wear black T-shirts. Before we were any of these things, we were black. If we can get back to that, I'm telling you, we'll see a change. You want to see what white racism is? Do what Elijah Muhammad suggested that we do over 80 years ago. Try unity. But we're going to have some conversation. We're going to have some therapy. We have to do some apologizing. We have to admit that we're wrong about some things. But as long as we keep on separating, going to this faction and that faction, and every time you go to another faction, it's leading to white folks. What church you belong to? How come it just can't be one church and everybody black go there? I'm AME, I'm Methodist, I'm this, I'm Baptist, I'm Southern. Why? Maybe that's my naivete speaking. But that's how Jews do. That's how Asians do. That's how even the immigrants do when they come over here. And give a boatload of benefits so they can open up a store in the black neighborhood. They go straight to the black neighborhood. They don't never go to the white suburbs. Yeah, I never found it to be strange. So, it's me saying the same old thing. I'll keep saying it to somebody. And I know the people on my Facebook page, it's everybody like maybe over 35. Been there, done that. My goal is to reach younger people who actually can grow from some of the stuff I'm saying, or who'll be less ego driven and less arrogant driven to hear what I'm saying. If I would have a conversation, it would be with young people, because they ask questions because they really want to know. When someone over 30 asks me a question, it's because they're being a dick. They want to tell me you wrong. So I don't talk to a lot of. I've gotten out of talking to old ass black folks about anything, because it doesn't fit into this current narrative of being comfortable behind enemy lines, being comfortable under racism, white supremacy. Yeah, I'll talk to young people, high schoolers, some college students. I would, because they want to know. But the PhDs, the master's degrees, the lawyers, black folks, they know everything. So you just start with the youth. But anybody else, you got to hit me on the Cash App. You ask me questions about anything I say on Facebook or my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. I think I covered everything I wanted to share, because how you feel full at first, and then you can feel it empty now. I think I've emptied everything I wanted to say, because yeah, everyone seems to be so shocked about what white folks are doing in D.C. I'm not. Again, for those who are just coming in, who hadn't heard me say it yet, I'm not bothered either. Shit, it's the pandemic. I'm trying to make sure rent paid. I don't give a fuck about what they're doing in D.C. You know what? When our people were enslaved, or when our people were Jim Crow, let's say Jim Crow, they were still building and creating. They wasn't. They didn't pay attention to a lot of that stuff for the most part. They were still building and creating. We're integrated. We're socially integrated. Our bedrooms are integrated. We act like we can't build and create shit. It's the weirdest thing. And we think that there's only groups of white folks that don't like us. That's the weirdest shit too. No, those are Republican white people. They're full of hate. Not the Democratic white people. They're the same people. You know who was stopping those goddamn stimulus checks? Damn, y'all made me go there. White folks. Democrats and white Republicans. You know who tried to push them early, the $2,000 back in April and May? Trump. They told him, nah. Now all of a sudden, now the Democrats want to talk about, we should do 2,000. You know, if we win the House, we can get 2,000. I mean, y'all ain't paying attention to how Democrats have always played blacks. We're not supposed to expect anything from Republicans. No, we've already been told, if they're Republicans, they're bad, they're horrible. But we're supposed to, I guess, if we're not supposed to expect anything from Republicans, but we expect stuff from Democrats, and they tell us, wait a minute, after you do this, after you give this to us first, then we'll think about it. Go back to the Ice Cube plan. They said, well, wait a minute, let me see if we're going to get elected first, then we'll talk to you. But this is a plan for black people. I know, but wait till if we get elected, then we'll talk to you. I ain't heard about them calling Ice Cube. Wait, let us get elected first, then we'll have a meeting. They ain't even called Black Lives Matter back. Because they already had an agenda. Black people. You ever known a prostitute to get somebody some pussy first, then ask for some money? See, I'm trying to give easy, simple examples. But that's how black people do with Democrats. Give us your vote first. Let us get elected. And then we can possibly talk about it. And that's how we've been treated for the past 50 years. That's why a lot of us, you know, and I'm an independent, but I know I'm never voting for a Democrat again. I don't give a damn what's going on. I vote for Libertarian. I think that part of it might be more our suit as particularly straight black men. Because one thing I can say, I'm proud of the numbers of black men who got off that Democratic plantation. They may not have gone to the Republican Party. They probably just left and now making a choice to where we're going to go. I've always been an independent. And if I voted Democrat in the past, it was just, I don't know, I voted for Obama twice, not because I wanted to. It was something in my spirit. I didn't want to do it. But, you know, I didn't feel like, you know, Negroes love to gang pile on you. So who you vote for? Who you vote for? I said, yeah, I voted for that mulatto. But I know damn well how he got here, why he selected. You know. But when I voted for Trump, I didn't feel that way. I felt like, damn, this feels pretty good. Because I wanted to do it. I understood. I knew why I voted for him. And it was cool. Never regret it. Didn't regret it the second time either. Because I understand why he was there. And you know me, I always go for the underdog. When I see everybody don't like somebody, I say, what is it about that person? You know who I don't trust? The motherfucker that everybody likes. So what is he or she not saying? How you like by everybody, you ain't pissed nobody off? Maybe because I was that person. Or I am that person today. And so, when you got the whole system just making sure that your whole existence is erased, like he didn't do nothing as president, like, you know, that's cool. I have no debate about that shit. It is what it is. We're going to get this Biden-Harris shit, and we're going to survive it too, because we've survived slavery, we've survived slave codes, we survived Jim Crow, 100 years of Jim Crow. We're going to survive Biden and Harris. It's just politics. What I would love for us to do is finally get ourselves together as a race. And I love saying race, because I know it pisses some folks off. Because, I mean, you know, white folks, they couldn't care less. I like saying, because I know it pisses off a lot of uppity blacks who think they've made it. who think they're really brilliant about politics and economics. You know what is so funny? When this Trump thing brought out a whole lot of so-called pseudo-black economists. So how come y'all know so much about politics and economics when y'all want to be contrary to Trump, but none of that brain power was used in these black ghettos? You can get online and type a whole paragraph about this, that, but you can't seem to put into that action for our people. Let's take an example for the city. Take for example the city of Atlanta, right? You know, there's so many millionaires there, rich blacks there. Even Tyler Perry's moved there. They've always had a lot of wealth there. So, but how come Morris Brown and the UC looks like shit with all those so-called proud, independent black folks in Atlanta? I always found that to be odd. T.I., Killer Mike running around here talking about they doing moves. Y'all need to make moves for the UC. Morehouse, Clark, Atlanta, Spelman, Morris Brown. Look like shit. So that's the kind of stuff I'm like, well, wait a minute now. You get all these celebrities and stars and big ass mansions and gated communities and galas and movies shot there and all kinds of shit, but why is this? It shouldn't even be in the ghettos in Atlanta. All that money, black star power there. Y'all see this is the stuff I'm addressing. It's easy to talk about white folks. It's easy to talk about, when it's convenient for you, because a lot of us don't talk about Caucasians all the time. We don't say nothing about it. Me either. But it's funny when I hear other, just all through Facebook, and even in person hear black folks talk about white folks, when it's convenient. And then you specify which white folks. I don't. Because if I ask the question, you think all white people are racist? Of course they have the potential to be racist. But the smarter ones know how to behave like a liberal. Oh, yes, that's right. Okay. But as soon as you mess with their freedom as being white or their privilege, your liberal friend turns Caucasian on your ass. So why even go there? But you wouldn't be cool with everyone, because look, don't get me wrong, I party with everybody. And I like mixed clubs, because I like pop music. I like rock music. It's partying. But I would love to live in a black utopia. Let me go back to the movie, speaking of black utopia. It's funny how we didn't go to see 12 Years a Slave, which I thought was a good movie for teaching our young people. But we wouldn't take our kids to see that. We wouldn't take them to see Birth of a Nation. But we went to see a comedy about slavery called Django, and we still talk about that. They had some memorable characters, and they were truthful characters. But there was nothing comedic about slavery. See, we think if we don't see the brutality, it's going to make the brutality go away. Well, there's plenty of research to show how black women were experimented on in their vaginal area with these tools they were using, how they did abortions and how they did hysterectomies with no anesthetic and all this kind of stuff. And we have to teach this. We have to go to the movies, or maybe we can collect $50 million and give Tyler Perry to make a legitimate movie. Oh, no, because he's going to have Mud Deer on the plantation talking shit. We'll pass. But get Antoine Fuqua, even a Spike Lee to make a legitimate movie. And Spike tries. We won't even go see a lot of his stuff. But then we all flocked into billions to go see a fantasy movie about black folks called Black Panther. And we took our children, our grandchildren. Let me tell y'all something. You know how we all flocked to go see Black Panther? In the billions. Jews took their children and grandchildren in the millions and continued to go see Schindler's List, a brutal movie about how Jews were treated over Nazi Germany. And we won't do it. And so we're playing games. And we're not going to tell the truth about the movie Black Panther. It wasn't that good. Uh, I don't like the way they did the black male image. They softened him up. If y'all read the cartoon comic strips, he was a lot cooler. Let me tell you, the real Black Panther in the comic strips was Michael J. White, James Bond, Michael J. White, a man, masculine, intelligent, scientist. But in the movie, and rest in peace to the brother, but Chadwick Boseman, I didn't think he was the right fit to be Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan should have been Black Panther. He was more masculine. He was tougher. He was more manly than that dude. And Chadwick could have played the villain. But also, y'all didn't understand that movie. All the stuff that people like Nat Turner said, Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey said, they didn't put those words in Black Panther's mouth. They put it in the villain's mouth. Some of them Jews paying for your history. They put the words of freedom in the villain's mouth so you can write them off as angry. That's what I saw when I watched the movie. And then all of a sudden, they pushed the black female up like she kicking all the ass. And the men were just there as ornaments. The only people that do that way. They don't push the women up in James Bond movie. Ain't no woman kicking nobody's ass in Thor movies, Captain America movies. You don't remember the villain. You remember Batman. You remember Thor. You remember Captain America. Everyone remembered Killmonger. Because Killmonger was the man. And then they let his little kid sister do comedy, say little punchlines and silly shit about him. I didn't care for none of that. I doubt if I'm going to see the new one. Because I'm like, if they got the same director who put that feminist girly twist on it, I don't want to go watch it. Ryan Coogler, stick to doing Creed. Because Black Panther's too big of a movie. They need producers who they need the guys, the white guys who produce James Bond movies to direct this next Black Panther movie. Or the Captain America movies or the Thor movies. So he really look like the hero and kick ass in the movie. And also in the next Black Panther, where it's going to be a girl, but in that Black Panther movie, y'all notice whenever it's a black male lead, he don't never get no pussy. But if James Bond fucking bitches from France to England to Portugal to Latin America, everywhere he go on his adventure, he knocking some chick down. And I think Captain America got a hug and something else. But black dudes don't never get no pussy in the movie. Y'all ain't never noticed that? That's on purpose. They make black men eunuchs in these movies. But when black men get to have a sex scene lately, it's with another man. To all you PV lovers, P-Valley lovers out there. Lovecraft, Witch Country lovers out there. Power lovers out there and all this shit. This foolishness. He can make love, he can express all his masculinity when he busting booty hole. But he can't make love in a blockbuster movie. Like white men get to do all the time. Y'all ain't paying attention to that, are you? Mm-mm. So, it's funny how we think. And people won't tell the truth about how Black Panther really wasn't that great. Because I walked out of the movie. Let me tell you something. I was in a movie theater in Dallas. Had over 300 people. The whole theater sold out. And I paid attention to the movie. And when the movie is over, it's like people are leaving like it was a processional, or what do you call it? When you're leaving a funeral, people filing out solemnly and quietly. That's how they left the movie. Usually when a movie is hype, man, that shit was, it was deep. Man, you said, well, wah. People were not talking. And I paid attention to that to see these people walking out with a secret. They didn't want to be honest and say, damn, they hyped this movie up like it was going to be all that. They want shit. Their pride wouldn't let them tell the truth. And so, and even when people let me tell y'all something, it was so flat that even when people were taking pictures with the big posters of the movies, of the scenes on the movie and stuff, they were kind of like, I saw people take pictures with no zest or zeal of excitement. I said, they ain't telling the truth. They knew this movie wasn't all that. I said, where nothing. And also, most importantly, that chemistry between his character and Lupita Nyong'o, I said, it was like two brother and sister awkwardly trying to, There was no sexual chemistry between those two at all. But had it been Michael B. Jordan, I think Lupita would come across a little more feminine and girly. Had it been Michael B. Jordan's character, Killmonger, instead of Chadwick Boseman. Because he wasn't just the most masculine dude and all that. You know, masculine dudes make chicks swoon, even in acting. So I wish that it would be Michael J. White, somebody, can bring the girl out in the actress. Y'all saw that scene when they finally got a chance to kiss. This shit was so awkward. I felt embarrassed for the both. I was like, y'all cut it out. Cut that scene. That's bullshit. Y'all don't care. People are we're not being honest. And the next movie is gonna be some more propaganda. I may go see it so I can give my critique on it. But I don't think it's gonna make another $1 billion unless they really, really hype it up. Again, but I think some people, they're gonna we'll see. We'll see. They did it because, Black Panther and this. And we always put all of our eggs in a basket about blackness. It was produced by Disney. How much blackness do you think is gonna be in that damn movie? But when the movie that's produced is black, we won't go see it. Especially produced by black folks, unless it's got some foolishness in it. So my man, Birth of a Nation director, is back. Damn. I forgot the brother's name. I'll get it in a minute. Tate, oh shit. He was also in The Great Debaters. I'll get his name in a minute. The brother who wrote, got the funding for, and directed Birth of a Nation. They purposely fucked that dude out of Oscar and all kinds of Golden Globe. That movie was awesome. I hope they re-release it. Maybe we'll get some sense and go see it. But anyway, I've spoken too long. I think that was all of my opinions. For those of you just coming in late, you can watch the replay. I'm also going to upload this to my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. Rico the Opinionist. Yeah, I'm going to upload it to that in case, you want to go to my YouTube channel and check it out, as well as other videos I have on there, about 80 other videos that you've probably never seen on my Rico the Opinionist. But I'm also going to create another YouTube channel where I can actually exercise my social work muscles, with counseling and therapy. And so I need to have two channels because my opinionist page, I don't want to mix my counseling stuff or my push to get us to get into counseling and talk about stuff that on our minds and our relationships and stuff. I need to have a second. Maybe refer to it as my social work channel. I think I may do that. So I can, because I want to be able to do both, but I don't want to mix the two on the channel because again, I'm slowly but surely leaving Facebook, doing this kind of thing. I'll just do those little posts that I do, those little questions and stuff. But as far as video, I'll be mainly on my YouTube channel if anyone's interested. But anyway, thank y'all so much, those of you who showed up. And good morning to you. Hope your day is awesome. If you're living somewhere where the high is like 40 or even 50, it's still kind of chilly when the high is 50. That means you got to get to the 30s and 40s and get it up too. But anyway, this has been Rico the Opinionist early this morning. Thank y'all for tuning in and like, share, and subscribe. And mess with me on the Cash App, the PayPal, my link to my book if you haven't, my short story. If you have not checked it out, it's called The Greatest Pain I Ever Felt. Conversation with an absent biological father who never wanted to be found. And I have the link to my GoFundMe for my nonprofit called BlackManMojo. That should be self-explanatory. There's a little video on there. I may reshoot that video. It's been on there about 6 months or so. Anyway, thank y'all so much. Be cool. We'll talk later. Peace.